here. You're listening to the morning show on KLOR. And as always, on Friday, most of the time anyway, Shannon
Most of the
Mallory
time.
with the K County OSU Extension Office joins me. Ag Educator, tell me about that real quick, about what you do. I mean,
Right.
you got many, many hats.
So I work for the K County Extension Office. Extension has, or Oklahoma State University Extension
Yeah.
has an office in every single county. And I believe every single office has either a 4-H educator, which is the 4-H Youth Development Program, or an agriculture educator, which is myself.
Which is you.
Yeah, and some offices combine that role. So I know like Grant County has just one educator that does both, but every county has an office. So we have a 4-H educator, agriculture educator, myself, and then Brenda, our family consumer science educator. We're not supposed to technically use the term, but it's so familiar. Most people
Yeah.
familiarize that with home economics type things, but they do a lot of other stuff under Extension's role with family consumer sciences
Yeah.
as well. But yeah, we do all types of stuff. I always tell people with the county office, if the university teaches, does research, or promotes it, we usually have something to do with that. We're tied in with that to extend the knowledge out to the
Right.
public.
So if you don't have the answers, though, you're able to find them.
We work very hard to find those answers for
So
people.
don't be afraid to ask questions anyway, because you guys do handle a lot of different things. So.
I had someone call me Tuesday about she had multiple dead blackbirds, like parking lot birds, as most people might call them, in her backyard, and she was trying to figure out what was going on. We haven't figured out what was going on, but we found I had never called about multiple birds of the same species dying that weren't domesticated. So we ended up getting them in contact with the USDA Wildlife Services, and they may come out and test or something like that, or at least they're going to log the report or something. But, it's not always us that has the answers or the services, but we're supposed to be knowledgeable and help find people.
Yeah.
Liaisons. There you go.
Liaisons.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Well,
exactly.
So today, I like the subject. I think that it's a very needed thing to talk about. So what are we talking about today? Let's tell the listeners.
We are talking about plants, foods, things that you can eat that grow outside. Many people call this wild foraging.
Right.
And usually the question, I don't usually get questions of what can I eat? I get a picture of something and it says, can I eat this and not die?
A picture tells the story. Not
Exactly.
Not so well.
And sometimes it's a really good picture and we can identify it and be like, yeah, you're good to eat that if you really wanted to. Other ones you're like, I cannot discern what this is from that photo. I'm going to tell you not to eat it. And then maybe they eat it anyway.
Now, I'm kind of into this, so I know some of the things you can eat, and I was so surprised at some of the things that you can eat that you find out in the wilderness.
So I've done a longer presentation than just the 4 that we're going to talk about on air today. But the first one, and we don't have it quite north of I-44 right now. If anybody's familiar with our current rain pattern that we've had, everybody south of I-44, so draw a line from Tulsa, Oklahoma City to Lawton, has been getting plentiful rain.
They're the lucky ones right now.
And the Facebook groups that I've been following, their morel mushrooms.
Me too. I've seen them, and
are
I'm
popping up.
Lucky. Yeah, they're lucky to have them.
We are maybe seeing some, but nowhere near like the big flourish that we usually get sometime during the year. Morel mushrooms usually need a soil temperature of about 60 degrees to start popping up, and then they need sufficient moisture. You'll find them in open wooded areas, under cedar trees, under elm trees. I've found them in the middle of a pasture before. There's no hard set rule on where you can find them, but probably the best way to continually find them is have a quote unquote patch, so to speak.
Right.
If you find one somewhere one year, there's likely to be some there the following year.
And most people that have those, they don't tell.
They don't tell.
They don't
exactly.
tell.
Yeah. I don't have any, Beverly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
fine.
have
I was
any
looking
at
you
all.
like, where are you getting yours?
Yeah.
Okay, so if the temperature and the moisture have to be just right, is there a certain season where it's too late then? Even if we get that moisture, will they still come in over here in our area if we get them?
Once we get to 70, 80 degree soil temperatures, for sure it's going to dry out a mushroom pretty quickly, and the mushroom will have completed its life cycle. Usually mid-March to early May is about the time period, and they'll pop up for a week and a half, 2 weeks or something.
We still got a chance then.
And it's different every year. Yeah, I would still think if we get some form of rain or moisture that it's going to pop up sometime.
Okay. Yeah. Now, when you say they dry up, do they go to seed? How does that work?
No, they put off spores.
Spores.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they put off spores. There's a term for it for mushrooms, but basically they put off spores and dry up and shrivel into the ground. So
does that make more mushrooms that way?
Sure
Is that what
does.
you're saying? Okay.
Yep.
Just wondered how that works.
There's some argument out there of only taking, like leaving a third of them out there so that they have more the following year. Largely that can be true and not true. If you've got a big mushroom patch with, hundreds of them out there, you're not going to find all of them, let alone there are spores still in the ground, and those spores can stay active many years. Right. So, yeah, take what you're going to eat is my rule.
So those we can eat.
Yes. All right. Pigweed, amaranth, they're both the same term there. People drive by this and probably see them as weeds in soybean fields. Now, granted, you might not want to eat those ones because farmers are probably actively trying to kill those and may have applied pesticides or herbicides onto them.
Right.
But pigweed is a summer annual leafy green. It's one of our only summer annuals that we can eat the greens off of. I've heard people say it has kind of a spinach-like taste, and you can use it like spinach. Has a little bit of a waxy texture, kind of like spinach. So, something like that. Also, you can make bread or flour out of the seeds. I hear that one is much more of an acquired taste, though.
And that sounds like you're going to need a lot of them to make some flour.
They're very, very tiny seeds.
Yeah, they are
but
small.
Pigweed puts off a lot of seeds.
Yeah, I didn't know that about
one of the
pigweeds.
reasons why it's a problem weed has lots of little plants that'll pop up. But pigweed is edible. And it's one of our, like I said, it's one of our only leafy greens that grows consistently out here during the summer. All right, dandelion greens. I'll put a disclaimer on this one. Don't eat them in someone's yard that you don't know the lawn care history of.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. They're popping up this time of year. If you see them out in a wild area or someone's private property where you know that it hasn't had chemicals of any kind sprayed on it, you can eat the greens. People say they taste like arugula. You can eat the root. The root is very taproot-like, looks like a parsnip. I don't know what it tastes like. I'm sure it kind of takes the taste of whatever soup or whatever type of thing you put it in. And then even the stem and the flower is edible.
Interesting.
So technically the whole plant is edible.
So when you're out there removing those dandelions, put them in a basket.
Yeah, put them in a basket,
take them in
make a salad.
And
there you go. Yep. You can also make dandelion wine out of it.
Really?
Yes. Somebody.
That doesn't sound
everybody's
very
ears perked up on that one.
No,
Wow.
I don't drink really. I'm not a big drinker, but no, that was more like, it doesn't sound like it would taste too
I know.
great,
it sounds like it would taste like grass, but apparently it does not.
Put a little sugar in there.
I'm sure they probably put sugar in there.
Interesting. Anyway.
Yep. And then the final one I wanted to talk about today, prickly pear cactus. The whole plant is edible except for the skin. And the skin isn't that it's poisonous or anything like that. You just wouldn't want to eat the skin without charring and removing the skin. I just said eat the skin. Don't eat the skin. Yeah. You wouldn't want to do it without charring and removing it because it's got tiny little thorns on the skin. Now, there's the big thorns that people are mostly familiar with. You certainly wouldn't want to chomp down on one of those. But the tiny ones, they'll stick into your skin. I would hate to have it in my mouth.
Yes.
And it can just be irritating, kind of create a rash and stuff like that. So people will char them over a fire, scrape off the skin, and then the inside, quote unquote, meat or gelatinous portion of it or something. They'll throw it in tacos as like a meat substitute. They'll use it in noodle soups and stuff like that. So it kind of takes the taste of whatever you're cooking it in, but it's very, very juicy, very delicious. I've had a few things like that. You can also eat the prickly pear fruits, which I learned the other day are called tunas.
Really?
Yes.
Now, are you pronouncing that right? Maybe in
tuna.
Spanish it's a different tuna. I don't know.
Tuna.
We'll figure it.
But anyway, the little on a prickly pear, the little purple fruits that grow on there. I think you want to remove the skin on those as well. But they say it's got like a melon, raspberry, strawberry type taste, and people put them in smoothies. People put them in all types of stuff. It's got a lot of. If you actually break them open yourself, I saw some pictures online. Your hands will be purple. afterwards.
Okay.
But apparently they're very delicious.
Interesting. So you could use that color for other things too as well.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah.
And you can buy those in the store, by the way, with the stickers off of them.
Yep. I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Upcoming events for K County. Wednesday next week, we have a dicamba training at the K County Extension Office. This will be a Zoom-presented training. You will get your dicamba certification and one ODAF CEU. So for our private applicators out there, you'll get one ODAF CEU. Thursday next week, we will be doing a dicamba training that will give you one ODAF CEU, but at the Blackwell Expo Center. Okay. That one does have a lunch that is sponsored by our Helena Agri Enterprises chemical company out of Blackwell. So Wednesday, no lunch. Thursday lunch.
Okay. Is the Wednesday, is that the Zoom one?
That's the Zoom one at our office.
Yeah, and I have that posted on PonkCityNow.com. They can go there and search, and they will find out more about that meeting.
Yes. Then next week in Perry, Oklahoma, Tuesday, April 4th, we have what we call the Cimarron Ag Conference, and this is a 6 CEU event that we plan on doing every year. We did it last year in the fall or in the spring and the fall. We're planning on doing it in the spring and the fall this year. And that will be at the Noble County Fairgrounds Building, 1 Ivanhoe Street in Perry, Oklahoma. Contact the Noble County Extension Office to RSVP for that. I will be there helping out and stuff, but contact them. They're the ones taking money in RSVPs. It is $20, but it does include lunch. So please, if you're looking to get some CEUs, it's a great opportunity. It's more pasture herbicides based, and in the fall we'll do our row crop one in early August. But anyway, something for our private applicators to have on their calendar. Make it out if you can.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in, Shannon. So if they want to know more about K County OSU Extension or have any questions about what we've talked about.
Yep. Any questions you may have, 580-362-3194.
All right. Keep it tuned to KLOR. I have Paul Simon, me, and Julio down by the schoolyard up next.
See, welcome back. Jimmy Farmer here, and we've got Shannon Mallory in studio with us this morning. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, Jimmy. What's up?
Not much. How are you today?
It's gorgeous out. Yesterday was kind of nasty.
It was.
Yeah, it was windy and everything like that. Wednesday was gorgeous.
Wednesday, yes.
Oh my gosh.
And I was thinking about that last night when I kicked off the morning show yesterday. I think we were at like 68 degrees.
Oh.
And that was the high for the day.
Uh-huh.
I kept bragging like it's going to warm up. It's going to warm up.
Well, when you have weather like that, you're like, oh, well, at least it's going to rain. Like we need that rain. Nope,
right.
Didn't even get rain.
No,
my parents' place 2 hours south of here, 2.5 inches of rain, still raining. So they're flooding right now, which is good for them.
Is there any way they could just shift some of that our way?
A little bit farther north here, yeah.
Yeah, we need a little bit.
Yep.
So tell us, what do you have going on this week?
What do I have going on this week? We've got a few events coming up. Wednesday, March 29th, next Wednesday, at the K County Extension Office, we do have our dicamba training, and we'll have a little bit of an extra training on there to get our one ODAF CEU. This is for private pesticide applicators, so a lot of farmers out there need this. That will be Wednesday at the K County Extension Office. Grant County will also be hosting one of those at the fairgrounds in Pond Creek. So same event, same type of thing. It's a Zoom training. They're presenting over that.
Okay.
The next one that we'll have is the Thursday following. It will also be a dicamba training at Blackwell, Oklahoma. You will get one CEU for attending. This one has a lunch.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Helena Chemical, or Helena Agri Enterprises, has been gracious enough to sponsor that lunch for multiple years. They
awesome.
kind of use it like a farmer feed and stuff like that. And you will get one ODAF CEU for attending that one.
Okay.
Tuesday, April 4th, in Perry, Oklahoma, we're doing another CEU conference. This one here will be just a little bit different. It will be called the Cimarron Ag Conference. It's the very similar one that we hosted this past year and in the fall. It will have 6 CEUs attached to it. It's an all-day event at the Noble County Fairgrounds in Perry, Oklahoma. If you have any questions or need to ask anything about those, give us a phone call over at the K County Extension Office, 580-362-3194. That was a lot, so if you're a farmer out there, call our office and we'll get you to the right
Get
one
you
that you
set
can
up.
that fits your schedule. But we got a lot of them going on the next couple of days.
Well, and that's a good thing, though.
Yep,
Get everybody that needs it in there and educated.
Yep, they need the opportunities to go ahead and fulfill their licensing requirements.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, but what we came in here to talk about for most of our listeners today, it's getting to be morel mushroom season.
It is.
Oh.
It is. And I've never actually hunted them myself, but I've ate a few.
And just to put this out there, this isn't snipe hunting or anything like this, guys. Which, if you haven't gone snipe hunting, I'd be glad to take you.
Yes, we know a great spot.
I know a great. Me and Jimmy know a great spot down by the river.
Yep, got a few.
Woo-loo-loo, or whatever you got to do. Yes, exactly. People are chuckling. They've done it before.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Fool me. Take me snipe hunting once. Shame on me. Take me snipe hunting 3 times. Oops.
Shame on me.
Yes, shame on me.
Yes. And there's people out there that have done it.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, but morel mushrooms are a real mushroom that you can eat. And if you're a Facebook or social media person, there are some really good resources. It's one of the great things about social media.
It is.
All the areas that have been getting rain are having morel mushrooms pop up right now, and people are going out and hunting and starting to get large quantities of them. We're talking, 5 or 6 pounds of mushrooms out there. Usually we need to have sufficient moisture in the soil. What does sufficient mean? Don't really know, but more than what we've got up here
more
right
than
now.
what we've had.
And then we need the soil temperatures to be at 60 degrees, and we're just shy of that in Kay County right now. There probably could be some early ones popping up, but just shy of that
in the next couple of weeks for sure. Probably we'll be right there.
But there's some great Facebook groups that they post with like a receipt that they got that day from McDonald's or wherever, and a picture of a mushroom, and they say, hey, I'm in Pontotoc County and I just found mushrooms. So you know the time when you should go out there rather than checking your spot every 3 days.
Right.
Yeah. Good luck finding someone who's willing to share their spot.
That's what I've understood. Once you get a spot, you're not going to let nobody know.
Yeah, you don't let people know if you found one, especially if it's on public land.
That secret fishing spot that only you catch at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally get that.
So they kind of keep a little tight-lipped on it. And they might share some mushrooms with you when they cook or something, but they're not going to tell you their spot.
And if they do, they dang sure ain't going to give you a key to get into it.
No, they aren't. No.
I mean, this is like hunting rights here.
Yeah, and part of the reason is morel mushrooms, especially the wild foraged ones, can be upwards of $45 a pound.
Holy cow.
Sold to restaurants and stuff like that. So some people do collect them to sell, but that just tells you how sought after they are.
Yeah.
And delicious, earthy taste. Most people just saute them in butter.
Yes.
Yeah, and then maybe fry them a little bit with some breading or something like that. But apparently you can make like tortellinis and all types of other things
you
can
can
with mushrooms.
Use them in there in anything, yeah.
Yep. All right, the next one that people may really not know, and they probably drive by it in soybean fields as a weed all the time, pigweed.
Yes.
Yep. Pigweed is a summer annual leafy green that you can eat the leaves of. I'd eat the smaller leaves. They do get a little bit stemmy and hard, crunchy.
Now, I'm assuming this is coming from experience.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've tried it before. Yeah. Experience and then listed down. But amaranth is the other name for pigweed, and they actually take the grains or the seeds from it, and they make bread of it in the Middle East.
Oh, wow.
So, apparently that's a little bit of an acquired taste. Me, myself, I don't like rye bread because it has that kind of aftertaste to it.
Yes, I know
Amaranth apparently has something kind of similar to that, where it's got this little bit of an aftertaste to it. But it can make bread and make rising bread. So it's a way to make flour if you're into that.
Yes, and if you need...
Yep.
I mean, in a pinch.
I'll make a note on this. Don't go forage them in soybean fields because it's a weed and the farmer's probably trying to kill it and has applied something to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Spraying chemicals of some sort. So be mindful of where you're foraging.
If it's going to kill that plant, it's not going to do anything good for you.
Knock on wood, I doubt it would drop you dead, but it might cause some digestive problems.
Yes, you're probably going to get sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Would not suggest that.
One that people maybe have heard of now since social media has kind of broadcasted it a little bit, dandelion greens. Actually, the whole dandelion plant.
I did not know that.
Yep. Dandelion greens, next time you see a dandelion, compare their leaves to arugula.
Okay.
They look almost exactly the same. Same type of lobes and points and stuff like that, and apparently it tastes quite a bit like arugula. People will go out there and make dandelion salad. You can eat the roots. Dandelions have a parsnip type root, like a small carrot that's white. You can eat the roots and put it in stews and stuff like that. And then even the flower is edible. Yep, not the. I wouldn't eat the one that you blow in the wind. That might taste like just bad idea. Cotton candy or something. Yeah. I don't know, but it won't taste like cotton candy. That's what I was trying to say there. But yeah, you can eat the whole dandelion plant. People even make dandelion wine out of it. Jimmy's just rolling his eyes like, Shannon, are you just? He's like, April 1st is not in.
It's not there yet. I think I'm going to sit that one out.
Yeah. So, oh man, but anyway.
But I see a lot of kids eating anything out of the yard. So I mean,
Again, it's a common yard weed. Don't eat it in a yard that has been treated by herbicides.
Yes.
Know where you're eating it. Yep. Prickly pear cactus. Jimmy's just kind of rolling his eyes at me again.
I'm reading here.
Prickly pears, they produce a yellow flower. They're actually a very beautiful plant, and they do very well in a landscape. So if you're looking for a landscape plant that you can eat that most people will not know that you can eat, prickly pear cactus is one of those. And speaking of no rain, they do great right now. There's our solution.
There's the cactus for you, retaining that water.
Yep. So the one note of that, they do have thorns on them, so you've got to remove the thorns. You also need
Don't eat the thorns.
I got to say it, Jimmy. There's someone out there. Shannon told me I could eat it.
Warning signs, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So anyway, you have to scrape the skin off, though. And the reason why is they have what they call glow kids, and it's tiny little thorns on the skin that if you get on your skin or, God forbid, in your mouth, it would be very irritating. So people usually char it over a fire, and then with like tongs, they'll scrape the skin. But they'll eat the prickly pear meat, so to speak, in tacos and all kinds of other seasonings. They'll bake it. They use it kind of like a meat substitute there. And
That's
apparently
crazy.
It is delicious, cooked well. Kind of takes the taste of whatever seasoning that you've got on there and stuff, but apparently it's very, very good. You can also eat the prickly pear fruit, which is the purple little fruit that grows on it later in the season, and apparently it tastes kind of like melony, strawberry type taste on there. So yeah, things you can eat that you didn't think you could eat.
Shannon's going to have to bring us breakfast next week, I think.
It'd just be donuts, Jimmy. I'm not going to. Now, if I get morel mushrooms, I might bring you some morels,
there
Jimmy.
we go.
Yeah, because I do have. I mean, I don't have a spot. I don't have a spot. Of course I don't have a spot. No one.
He just knows a guy that gives him a couple.
I know a guy. Yeah, exactly. Yep, he lives down in the holler.
Understandable. Shannon, we got to cut out of here real quick. Take a look at that forecast. Thanks for stopping in. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. No, actually, I'll be fishing next week.
Vacation every other week. I want to work with Shannon. All right, we'll see him in 2 weeks. Paul up next with that forecast. Some Lee Bryce after that here on 101 Country.
Here's your